So thank you for being on the call today. And we're going to get started with the Advisor Meetup. So we're just going to do, just a brief introduction for me. My name's Audrey. I'm a project assistant with Unity, and I've been working with Unity for the past year and a half. And we're just going to today talk about some items for advisors to get to know more about the Unity conference and what they can expect. But I would like to open the floor if anybody feels like they want to start off with an opening prayer. Feel free to do so. You can unmute or raise your hand if anybody wants to do that.
Audrey, I can.
Thank you, Eileen. Go ahead.
Dear Father, we're so grateful for this opportunity to come together. We're grateful for unity and for coming together for 49 years. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for everyone that is here. We ask you to bless that our hearts will be open, our minds will be open, that we'll be able to cover all the topics that we need to be able to get through and prepare for our next meetup in person. We're grateful for the Unity staff and Mary Kiptitla, and we ask you for thy blessings upon all those who will be traveling. We're grateful, Heavenly Father, for J.R. Cook and grateful for his memory. And we ask you these favors and blessings in our Savior's name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Eileen, for that prayer. And now we're going to get started talking about our Youth Council handbook. So our staff member, Tristan Joe, has generously provided a youth handbook that he created. And so now I'm going to give this time over to him to kind of just go through the handbook and what it means to be a youth council within Unity.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys again for joining us. Again, in this section, we're going to be talking about youth councils. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and we have a bunch of staff here. So this is the perfect time to ask any questions that come to mind. There are no wrong questions. So again, this is Unity's new and improved youth council handbook. So again, with this, how I wanted to create it is I wanted it to be on par with college level literature and also make it a little bit user friendly because compared to our old handbook, it was just a Word document. So I wanted to make it a little bit more fun for our youth as well as for our advisors, a little bit more informative. Oops, sorry, having a little bit. There we go. So again, with the design and everything, I was really keeping in mind what is Unity, what we do, all the people we reach, all the tribes we, work with, all the people we work with. I really want to incorporate that into the design, but also, again, be very informative. So of course, this being the first official youth council handbook. So, going into the actual content itself. So what is a youth council? So of course, Unity is all about youth councils, and that is our bread and butter, really, is what we like to say is that, youth councils are what we are. It's the heart of Unity. So of course, with youth councils, with everything we do, each and every one of them is very different and unique. They all operate in their own way. So of course, we want to try to make this very inclusive, make it to where any youth is able to read it and they're able to learn about youth councils and how they can get started in their own communities as well. So you can see we have some information about, what is a youth council, the different types of youth councils. As you guys know, again, youth councils do operate in different ways. So they could be through tribal councils, through urban youth councils, high school Indian clubs, college universities. We even have some boys and girls clubs that we work with. So there are multiple ways for you to start a youth council in your area. And then at the end with that, you do get benefits of joining, Your youth learn how to work together with other Native youth. They build strong, lasting friendships. I'm sure, everyone in the call has at least one friend that they met at Unity who, they known for the longest time. For me, for an example, a lot of my friends, I met them through Unity, and, even though they live across country, we're still family. We call each other our Unity brothers and sisters just because of how close we are. So that's, some of the benefits, but of course, there's so many other benefits that a youth does get from a youth council and joining the Unity Network. So with the roles of a youth council, of course, we're all about, being out in the community. How can we tackle the issues that are affecting our community? So again, with this one, it's just different examples of how youth councils can interact with their community, different projects they can do, different things along that. So again, this is primarily for youth councils and how they operate. So with that in mind, I broke down all of the roles and responsibilities. That way it's easier for advisors, for any youth. They can just go in and read like, okay, these are my responsibilities. These are my duties, before meetings, during the meetings, after the meetings, what reports you need to do. So again, with this, I'm just trying to lay it out and as easy as possible, easy read. So that way we can try to reach as many youth as possible. So again, breaking down the officers' roles for youth councils. So we have, of course, the president, and then we have the vice president, secretary, treasurer. So of course, breaking down what their responsibilities are. For secretary, you do have responsibilities before the meeting and of course after the meeting. And then, of course, same with vice president, you're always there as a stand-in if the president is unable to run the meeting. And then, of course, this one's very depends on the youth council. Some youth councils have treasurers, some don't. So if you do have a treasurer, we do have some responsibilities for them as well. And then coming into the duties of the committee. So of course, there are different types of committees. We have the standing committee, we have a special committee, and then we have executive committees. So again, not a lot of people knew about these committees. So I really want to emphasize what each of them are and what they can do. So of course, we have like the responsibilities of any youth who's on these committees, and then we also have the reports. So we do try to get reports from these youth councils as a way as a check-in to see what they're up to, different things that they've been involved in, any projects they've done or any achievements. And so again, primarily I created this for the advisors. So I know a lot of advisors, a lot of you guys are new and this may be your first time becoming an advisor. So I wanted to really emphasize, what your tasks, your obligations, of course, you as an advisor, your role is to be a guide. You're really there to guide the youth council. And so that's what this whole section is, of course, about. Again, there is no wrong or right way to being an advisor. We do have some suggestions to give you, but again, we try to leave that up to you. And of course, leaving it up to the youth council, because ultimately the youth council does belong to the youth themselves. So just keeping that in mind, again, trying to help out our advisors with any questions and anything that they may have, feel free to ask again. And then, of course, I did want to put in a section in there about how to actually get affiliated with Unity, because I know it is confusing at time with all the material we do put out. So with this new member checklist, this is a standardized list that Unity is starting to use. And so you can just go in and check off what you have done, what you need. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email youthprograms@unityinc.org, and that will go directly to myself and to my manager, Greg, where we handle all of our youth cohorts as well as our membership. And then these next few pages, these are actually sample documentation. So of course, if you get yourself affiliated with Unity, you are never alone. You always have support. We always have resources here to help you. In terms of resources, we do offer sample documentation. So of course, you can see we have a sample resolution. And then we have a sample constitution and bylaws. So again, you are not alone with Unity. We feel free to reach out to your area representative, of course, to our website, or else even reaching out to youth programs ourselves. We're always here to help you with any kind of sample documentation you might need. And if we don't have it, then of course we can try to help you find a place that does. Yeah, and then this is that cover. So again, having the Unity Creed, what it means to be a member of the Unity Network. And again, just really emphasizing what youth councils are and their roles and responsibilities. So that's the new and improved youth council update. I don't know if anyone had any questions or anything. Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away.
Thank you so much, Tristan. Geraldine, would you like to ask a question?
Is all of that on the website?
Yes, this is fresh off the press. Tristan, just finalized it. So yes, we can drop the Audrey, if you can copy the link from the PowerPoint, we can send you the Canva link right now, but it is going to be posted on the website, and we'll be sending it out in the next e-blast as well. So again, like
Oh,
like
sorry,
people
we're
like
not free.
yourself,
We're not-
you might be a a returning uh veteran, as we might call them, but there's still some really good like stuff in there you could share with your youth for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. So there is a link that everybody can click on and save that to your, it's a great resource for sure. You can click on it, save it to your emails, and we'll make sure to send it out as well. It's also really helpful in a couple of different ways. Like when you're writing grants, you can feel free to like pull some language from the handbook. You can also share it with your higher ups or your bosses, or include it in your reports, any reporting that you're doing. So yeah, it's a great resource and tool, and we're continuously making a checklist. Some advisors, you've inherited the youth council, so some of these things, like we've had people say, hey, we've been around for 15 years, but we don't have a copy of our original constitution and bylaws, and like that's okay. We can work with you. You can make a new one. We're here to help for sure. Tristan, you did an amazing job. Thank you so much. It says and Audrey, if you can click on the link, I think we need to make it public because right now it's
Lord, actually, can you hold off on that? Because I'm actually going to put it on the website and
oh,
it'll
perfect.
be
We'll
on
do
there,
that.
and it'll be a lot easier. So if you could just hold off on that, please.
Perfect. No worries. So we'll send it out via email after this. So next up, I'll hand it back over to Audrey. Yeah, so coming up obviously is our National Unity Conference in San Diego, California, and hopefully we'll be getting a lot of you guys to be going out there and celebrating another year with us. So those are just kind of like the dates, and also kind of a reminder or a push for anybody who hasn't registered yet or you're thinking about it. We highly encourage you guys to register now and also look at hotels now as well. Those are up on our website. And I believe our host hotel is sold out. And then some of our overflow hotels are starting to go pretty quickly. So if you would like to join us in the summer in San Diego, we highly encourage you guys to start looking at those dates and the hotel and everything. And all of that can be found on our website as well. And then Lauren, Ashley, I'll hand it over to you if you want to kind of go over the draft agenda for the conference.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. Again, we're gonna share a couple of documents with you after this website, after this webinar. So if you do need a draft agenda, we do have one available. We know some people that's required for your like funding sources, for like you to do check requests. It is still in draft form, but there are some pretty awesome things that we know are happening. So the first day actually kicks off on Friday, but we host different events on the first day, pre-conference activities. That if you have youth coming in early, they'll still have some activities to look forward to. So a lot of these are sign up. So we're working with some local San Diego colleges to really do like campus tours of nearby areas. So if you get in early on Thursday morning, you still have some opportunities to sign up for additional trainings and such. So the first opportunity is if you have any youth who would really love to be an MC on stage. We have an MC training that they can sign up for, as well as our Native Youth Empowerment Night with the local EC. This is really good because some of us come from small communities, and that's the opportunity where they can kind of ease themselves into it so they're not just thrown into 3,000 people, right? It's a really good opportunity, and they get to meet with their local representatives. But everything else, if you can keep scrolling, happens to kickstart on Friday morning. So you can see some of these days, they're like color coded. So we do have stuff like wear red in honor of the missing and murdered Indigenous people, women and relatives, or we have like orange t-shirt day. We're also looking into like doing a sustainable fashion day to honor the Earth ambassadors. So as the event gets closer, we're going to send out like reminders of things for youth to pack. But it's always awesome just to help coordinate with these different days and events. So you can see there's a Unity 101 training with the EC. That's really great if your youth have never been to Unity before. So before everything gets kicked off with the lighting of the fire, they can come to this event and kind of get the 101, right? So again, that's really recommended if there's first time attendees, so they kind of you can set your expectations and such. So you can see, I won't read through this whole thing, but you can see we start off with the Parade of Nations, which is so much fun. Everybody, we used to just say two representatives from each youth council, and you can bring your youth council flag or your tribal flag. But it's not limited. Anybody who wants to line up and participate, they come in grand entry style. So that's always something that youth look forward to. And then each day, they do have different speakers, but then at the end of the day, they have area caucuses. So this is a great opportunity because then they'll break up into people to meet youth from their home states, to really network. And then when the youth are meeting in their caucus, we also have the first night advisors always focus on safety protocols. So this year we have our Unity safety team, and we always set up, those extra support systems in case anybody needs help during the conference. So you can look through this. We have different activities scheduled. We're still finalizing something. So, the keynote presenters and such will be announced to come within the coming month. But yes, you can kind of see there's workshops. They have a total of 8 workshops spread out over 2 days. And there are like college and career expo raffles where they can go and get information from the different vendors. And then, of course, we have signups for Culture Night. Culture Night is really awesome if you want to encourage your Native youth to share. It can be a story, it can be a song, a dance, it can be something about their history. We've even had people show like weaving, anything that really that they really enjoy Culture Night. It's one of the best. So you can see caucuses again. There's a 3-on-3 tournament. Would anybody on the call like to share what is Unity's history with basketball? I think this is a great question for our alumni, given it's Unity's birthday. Some people ask me, like, why do you guys do a 3-on-3? Why don't you do volleyball or something else? So I'm going to pick on some of our alumni who are on here today. Who would like to tell us why do we do a 3-on-3?
I don't want to be wrong, but
It's okay, go for it. Why do you think?
I think I remember that JR had a team that would travel, and this team represented unity. And it was like way at the beginning.
Absolutely. That was one of the best ways. Thank you so much, Eileen. You win a brownie point. No, just kidding. That's exactly it. So, way back in the day, when Unity was just starting, there was the Unity Eagles, and they would travel and do basketball tournaments, but he would also teach them community service. So they would go into detention centers and they would play basketball with the Native youth who were in juvenile you know, detention centers. And it was a way of them like saying like, hey, you're a leader too, you can turn your life around. And I was actually at a local event in Tolleson at a parent night, and a random parent came up to me and told her story about how that's how she met JR, and that she actually was in prison, and she learned about Unity, and when she got out, she ended up turning her life around and going to Unity, and she's now a drug and alcohol counselor and therapist for Native youth, and she adopts Native children. And she just told her whole story about like how Unity changed her life. So there's people like that all over the world, right? So our 3-on-3 is really exciting. If you have any ballers, they can sign up for that. We also, it will be traditional shirt and skirt day. This can be ribbon skirts, this can be just your regalia. But we do an awesome where the youth get to walk the runway in the mornings before our opening general assembly. And then there's another full day of like different workshops that they get to go to. So if you keep scrolling, I'm just going to do the highlights. We actually, this year, it's really exciting. The gala is going to be a sunset gala under the stars. So, what we say under the stars is Sunset Gala. And so, the beautiful San Diego, we're going to have this nice outdoor location where we're going to have like food and music. And then we'll all go into the main ballroom for the gala. And that's where we announce the Youth Council of the Year, the Advisor of the Year. Please nominate. And Greg will go over all of these awards you see here, but anybody is able to nominate anyone for one of these. So if you have somebody in your life, or if you know of an awesome alumni, we need people to nominate people for sure. And then the last day is a closing with a closing of the fire. Sheldon's on here. He's one of our amazing fire keepers. And that's the closing of the fire. It's just an awesome way to close us out. So travel day afternoon, or you can have the half day to explore San Diego. So, and then yes, Eileen, you are doing Zumba, so join us, the Wellness Warriors. I don't know how she does it, waking up so early. But this is again just the draft addenda, so you can start planning your activities. Last year, we really didn't have a half day or free day, but we brought that back this year. So if you want to take your youth to like the beach or something like that, that is on the same day as the 3-on-3. So you can start planning now. There is a light rail system that we have on our website that you can also access downtown San Diego. So those are just some brief updates. As we move forward, I just do want to encourage everyone to click on that purple box. If you are interested in coming, please take advantage of the discounted rate and don't wait to the late registration rate. It will increase on May 1st. And then registration will close on June 13th. So there will be no on-site registration available. It's okay if you don't know the names of your students who will be going. You can still register right now and just put student 1, student 2, student 3, you know what I mean? But that would lock in the discounted $575 rate for you. And we also have purchase orders available. So if you're still working with your tribe or anything to get the funding together, we still want you to lock in this low rate, and then that would give you time for your tribe or your school to send in the registration funding. So all of this is available on unityinc.org, but if anybody has any questions, we just wanted to make sure you had all of that information, and we can't wait to see you there. So thank you. I'll hand it off to Greg.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren Ashley. And again, I want to thank all of you on the call. This is Greg Mendoza. I work with Tristan Joe. I'm the Youth Programs Director, which means Tristan and I have the wonderful opportunity to work with all of Unity's youth cohorts that include like the National Unity Council, the National Unity Council Executive Committee, our 25 under 25 leadership awards program. And then we're getting ready, and I hope you guys all tune in next Tuesday on Earth Day when we announce the new class of our Earth Ambassadors. So we're really excited to welcome in the new cohort to the Unity family. Just some updates, announcements that just want to give your young people opportunities to consider running for positions within the National Unity Council. We have positions open in each of the 10 regions. And then we have the male and female co-president positions open. And the deadline is on May 29th. So you see the QR code on the slide there. If you like, please go ahead and scan that and encourage your young people to run for these positions. The age range is 14 to 24, and it's a wonderful opportunity for our young people to elevate their leadership, amplify their representation at a national level. So the National Unity Council Executive Committee does require time commitment. So that means young people need to manage their times. It is possible to manage their time with school and family and work life. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity. I encourage you to apply. Any of the young people. Next slide. I'm going to have our Western Area Representative speak on the resolutions and these two action subcommittees. Secretary Harvey.
Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jalen Harvey, and I come from the Navajo Nation, Pueblo of Acoma, and Hopi Tribe. And I currently have the honor of serving as the Western Area Representative and Secretary with the National Unity Council Executive Committee. So I have the amazing opportunity of overseeing tribal youth councils within the states of Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. With my position, I also am the chair for our resolutions committee. It is not on here, but this past mid-year in February, we actually passed our resolution. The title is called Inspiring Hope. HOPE is an acronym for Heart-to-Heart Conversations, Open-Minded Dialogue, Promoting Resources and Encouragement. So when we created our resolution, we looked at our top 10 issues from the national conference in Oregon, and we picked our top 2, which was substance abuse and suicide prevention. And with this resolution, we had to really brainstorm and think of ideas that we could give the youth councils throughout the nation, all of your councils, of some inspiration of what they could do throughout their term as a youth council member and what they could do within their community. So we have four main goals with this resolution, which is encouraging Native youth to reach out to their community for support and resources, creating safe spaces for Native youth to hold conversation about suicide prevention and substance abuse, and establishing town halls for community members to participate and collaborate by mapping resources within the community, and fostering collaboration within travel prevention programs to build stronger support networks. So this was passed at our mid-year conference, and we're just very happy. We worked very hard on this resolution, and to have it passed, it meant a lot to all of us. So that is our most recent resolution. But with that, we also wanted to acknowledge two other topics from our top 10 issue list, and that was the Every Child Matters for our talking about the lasting impacts of residential and boarding schools. So we created a sub-action committee specifically on that, since we do have a day designated at our national conference. So if you scan the QR code, you and your youth council are more than welcome to come join us within the sub-action committee. The meeting for the Every Child Matters will actually be this Friday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I will put in the link if you're interested in joining in just a bit. And also we have our Missing Murder Indigenous Relatives Sub-Action Committee. So focusing on the topic of our relatives who have gone missing, and talking about that and creating that safe space, but most of all, raising awareness about it. And so that is also another day that is designated at our national conference. So these are two of our sub-action committees that are happening this year. So if you are interested, or you may be thinking of a youth within your council that may be interested in joining as well, they are more than welcome to join us. The MMIW resolution committee will be meeting next Monday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I will be putting the links in, but of course, if you have any questions, or if you would like the resolution PDF, just feel free to put in the chat your emails, and I can email that to you as well. So again, thank you all for all that you do for our youth. It is truly appreciative, and I'm just very happy to see you all at nationals.
Thank you, Jalen. I have some additional announcements for all of you on the call. As you know, we are approaching the national conference, and just for the advisors, just some deadlines that are coming up. We will include this in the chat. Of course, with being an affiliated youth council, we do ask that you submit your annual membership report. The deadline is on May 16th. We're happy to report that we have offered some additional scholarship funds. We have raised the scholarship amounts to $4,000, and we're giving out 5 scholarships. So please, we'll provide the link on the chat, but the deadline is on May 16th. So please encourage your college students to apply for these scholarships. I would encourage any of the advisors to consider becoming our Unity Advisor of the Year. The Unity Advisor of the Year award was developed in honor of our founder, the late J.R. Cook. So I know that there is a lot of worthy advisors out there that are doing some wonderful work. The deadline is on May 16th. And then the next award is the Unity Alumni of the Year Award, named in honor of the late Eddie Wada from the Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming. Mr. Wada was very instrumental in the early days of Unity. So again, we do have this award for any of the alumnus. Please consider applying, and that award is due on May 16th. And lastly, when you submit your annual membership report, all of these youth councils will be in the running for the Unity Youth Council of the Year Award, which is the deadline is on May 16th. And again, as mentioned, it's based on your annual report submission. So again, please We will provide this information for you. I'm planning to do some additional mass emails to the advisors, so please be on the alert for that. But you'll see on the slide here the different awards that are available. So please go to the Unity website under resources where you'll find all this information, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And now we have an awesome announcement from our amazing leader, Mary Kim Titla.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Kim Titla. It's nice to, well, I can't see everybody, but it's nice to see the names. I appreciate your attendance. I know we're throwing a lot of things at you, but that's because Unity is so amazing and we do so many good things and we have something for everyone. So I actually run a couple of programs myself, and one of those is the Unity News program. So I wanted to put you on alert that we're going to have announcements coming out in May, and this is for auditions. Some of you who return year after year, you know we do Unity News segments every morning of the conference. And these are pre-produced, meaning that we fly in youth to Phoenix and they go to an actual news studio, they record the Unity News. And so we have an audition process for that. So one different aspect this year is we not only will have 2 co-anchors and a field reporter, but we're also going to tackle someone doing the weather and someone doing sports. So we want to, broaden it out a little bit so that more people have an opportunity to be a part of Unity News. So be looking for that announcement. We also want to promote something that's going to be happening in May that we haven't really advertised yet, but it is in regards to safety. We know that on May 5th, we're going to wear red in honor of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. And as part of that, we want to talk about personal safety. So please look for an announcement regarding a webinar as it relates to personal safety outside of Unity and at Unity. We want to make sure that we're promoting safety because that's one of our top priorities at the conference, is to make sure that all of our students are going to be safe and looking out for each other. You know, we have a buddy system, but we, of course, are going to go a step further than that. And in fact, we started that this last year at mid-year. We had a safety team. So we'll be implementing that again this time around. So lots of good things happening for our youth and, of course, about our youth. So those are my 2 announcements. Thank you. Good to see you all.
All right, Laura and Ashley, do you want to take over for this advisor advice circle?
Yes, so for this section, this is our time we're going to ask you guys to unmute, and we want to hear from you. We have people from all over the United States. Some of you may be long lifers. Some of you this may be your very first year as a advisor. So we are going live. So this is really think of it as anti-style advice. Like, what advice would you give to other advisors? Or does any advisor have something that they're, not struggling with, but something that they're dealing with right now, and they'd love to hear how other people are doing that, whether that's retention or building up your youth council, or how often, or ideas for fundraising. I'm gonna pass it over to you guys. Go ahead and you can raise your hand or just unmute yourselves. And this is our talking circle. So I'll kick it off to our amazing Denise Jensen. We put her on the flyer, so yeah, she didn't know that. She graciously let us. But Denise, what advice would you give to, say, a brand new youth council advisor who's just starting out?
Hi, Lauren, Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. My name is Denise Jensen, and I'm the advisor for the Navajo Prep Natani Youth Council. I'm also an alumni, proud alumni of Unity. And so I've been around Unity for a lot of years. And what helped me learn how to be an advisor was really knowing and understanding from a youth aspect what Unity was about and how Unity helped me as a youth and in my own personal journey, but also teaching me about becoming a leader in my own communities. And so, as an advisor, I took that passion with me and I try to continue to share it from that perspective with my students. And I know it's not always easy to allow students to take the reins, but you know, if you can provide some positive guidance and boundaries for them, they they will flourish. And it's really important, I think, for the youth to come up with the ideas for their own projects because that gives them ownership and it allows them to establish their own purpose for what they want to do and why they want to do it. Another thing that really helps with my youth council members is I utilize our DNF philosophy of learning. So I provide a cultural aspect that they can use to help guide them in the processes of planning and organizing their community service projects. And really just having an ear out, listening for different ways you can collaborate with other entities or organizations. There are times when projects come my way, and it's just a matter of taking advantage of those opportunities that come along to enter into partnerships with other organizations. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Who would like to go next? Don't be all modest.
I'm not shy.
Good.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. I am Eileen Crocker. I am the advisor for the White Mountain Apache Tribal Youth Council. We are so excited to be taking 13 youth to Unity this year. And I just want to share that it's so important to get all your documents in a row and ready. I have this book called My Unity Bible. It has all our consent forms, liability forms, all the registration, your hotel rooms, get ready to put your hotel room numbers on it, rooms of the kids, what rooms they're gonna be in, which advisor they're gonna be assigned to. In the last 9 years, I've served as the program coordinator for the Johnson O'Malley, and that's how we utilize some of our funding. But I just want to share that, like my sister said, that having the youth create their own projects is so important, and they do take ownership. And that's something that I always stress with this conference is that, anybody on our reservation could attend, but it's those youth that are blessed to be able to attend, and they need to take ownership of that opportunity to be able to be respectful and prompt, on time, be kind, and on time. So my youth council, we're always jumping to the front row. So you'll probably see us in the front row as much as possible, because I always tell them Apaches don't sit in back. So that's something that I've carried with our youth to make sure they take ownership of this opportunity and know that it's not anybody could attend, but they're the ones that are going. And it's also important to instill in them the importance of knowing how much work is put into this conference. I've been able to serve or be part of Unity for so many years, and I know how hard our Unity staff works. So it's important for our kids to understand how much work is put into this. A workshop is where you attend because these people took time to create these workshops. The speakers deserve your attention because they took time out of their life to speak to you. So always instilling them to be respectful, show up on time, be on time, stay off your phone. all of those just basic manners of attending something great like this for the simple and tiny, and it's not tiny. I'm saying that sarcastically of how much work the Unity staff does to put this together because it's a lot of work. And our kids need to be respectful and take responsibility for being there. I've been on my youth council for being late or not being where they're supposed to be. And it's just, I remind them, Unity staff did a lot of work to put this together. You have no business doing what you're doing. So that's something that I really want to share and hope that other youth councils will share with their youth because it is disheartening, honestly, to to say that we do see youth not taking advantage of what this opportunity is to be in the hallways or on their phone or in the background or paying attention. I've been a part of Unity since I was 17 years old and has instilled in me respect and being able to know how important this opportunity is. And it's helped me as an adult grow, and all the decades of learning that I've had from the speakers and the workshops that I attended as a youth and done workshops myself, it needs to be said. These kids need to understand how important this opportunity is. So that's my bit.
Thank you. Bill, would you like to go next?
Good afternoon. I am Bill Carice. I am at Santa Fe Indian School, and I am the advisor for the No to Be Gay Foundation. Last year was our first time we participated. And just FYI, I was blown away by the number of participants, on one of those days when we all were in orange, it felt like I was at a pumpkin patch in terms of just how orange it was, but at the same time, just how many people were so willing to demonstrate and to acknowledge that children matter. And it is just really just coming together and bringing everybody together on one page and one thought. And so that was very impressive for me at the start. And the other thing is just like Eileen said earlier, my thing, I think, as an advisor is now that the agenda's set and everything's gonna be set, we're gonna be taking more students this year than last year. So I think one of the things we're gonna probably do is actually have our youth and go in buddy systems to pick a session. So when we have 12, we're gonna at least try and get 4 people or 6 people in different sessions so that they get a better feel for what's being shared by the facilitators and also get a feel for how much common issues we face. What are we doing when we face those issues? And how do we begin to incorporate awareness in our communities? Our community that we serve is basically, we're working out of Santa Ana Pueblo, which is outside of Albuquerque. But within our population, our group, they go from within 5 miles from the center all the way out to almost close to the western part of the state, which is almost about 2 hours away, maybe 120 miles away. So our participants come from, the radius of, from 5 miles away from the center to about 120 miles. So just bringing everybody together and coordinating what are some social issues we need to share with the community. And of course, that those things are possible now with the technology we have. But at the same time, we still do want to, go to those communities and work with the grassroots, and so it's really a challenge, but it's truly amazing what the students and young people can do once they decide to do what they want to do. And once they do that, the ownership falls on them. And when the ownership is on them, they get motivated. And then there's some real good discussions that they take part in. So those are some things as a new advisor going on to probably my third year now, but second year with going out to the conference. But it's quite an experience and as an advisor, and I cannot speak for the youth because I know just from what I see, they will say some awesome things about the conference and the experience they have. Uh, just from last year and then throughout the year in between. So I would say brace yourself and enjoy San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. I love that pumpkin patch. I'm gonna think of that when we're there all in our orange. Who else would like to speak? We have a lot of people on the line. Does anybody have any questions for another youth group? I'm gonna call on Jerrilyn. She brings a grip load of people from Oklahoma every year, and I am just amazed. What is your secret, Jerrilyn? Tell us.
Why'd you have to call on me?
Because you bring a bunch.
Well, we've got a lot of kids in our council. The last I counted was 91, but we've been busy pretty much the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we've had a lot of new members. So I don't know that number yet until I update our spreadsheet. But we had originally planned to take 60 this year, but our tribal leaders have cut us down to 50. So I think we're gonna do 44 kids and 6 chaperones because I want to take as many kids as possible. And that's due to our funding freeze, wanting to cut costs. Sorry, I'm
That's
echoing a lot.
that's
Um,
crazy. Oh, do you have any like suggestions for people who are bringing a large group like that? Yeah.
Make sure you have good chaperones, and um, I tend to bring the ones that help us out at our meetings and every month so that the kids are familiar with them. Uh, Make sure you got some mean aunties in there. No.
That helps.
Yeah. Um, yeah, just people that they're comfortable with and ones that you know you can rely on. A lot of these ones are usually our parents because I don't have any staff, so it's just me and usually parents that help out or other programs that sometimes collab with us. Um, and also utilizing your older students to kind of step in as like chaperones when needed, or like a room chaperone at least, or just kind of help oversee the kids in their group. Um, and we kind of have a strict schedule. We look through every part of that agenda, and then we make our own, and we make sure like everybody, this is where this person's going to be. This is where, you know, who wants to sign up for this, who wants to sign up for that, and we try to plan as much in advance as we can, just so that they're taking it all in and able to learn as much as possible. And they get so excited for it. We've got a lot of new kids, and that's all they talk about. So, but we've got requirements that they've got to meet. So we won't actually know who's going till probably next month. I did have a suggestion though, and this was more if we were going to be at the host hotel, which we are not. I had taken some of my kids to another conference or program in Washington, D.C. It's the Close Up program. And what I liked about that program is they had night monitors in their hotel. They had that set out there all night. And so, like, their curfew was 10 o'clock. They were not to leave their rooms at all. And I thought it was really helpful. The only thing was I had to keep going back and forth because the kids were door dashing or they needed water or first aid, but I really liked that people were monitoring the halls because we've stayed in some hotels where people were just in and out of there. We've had homeless people bothering our kids, and kids stuck in elevators and things like that. So I don't know. That might be a suggestion for another year to possibly get people just to monitor like the halls throughout the night in the host hotels.
That's a great idea. We actually we can take that to our safety team because I know that's something that we're just now and again, it's not like security guard safety, but more like auntie uncle safety. So
Yeah.
I really see that and Denise in the chat, she agrees. She took their students to close up and they appreciated the monitors as well. So those are great suggestions that we can and I really like, Pearl says this on the first night, like, you're not alone. Don't think you're just by yourself with all these kids, like advisors. It's like you share the responsibility, right? Like, if I see kids, I'm not an advisor, but if I see kids wandering the halls, I say to them, like, hey, where are you from? What tribe are you with? Like, aren't you need to be back in bed or, so we all kind of help each other out there for sure. So
Yes.
thank you for sharing. I'm so excited to see you guys.
The other advisors had mentioned about making sure that most of your activities are, kind of youth led as much as possible. I'm real big on that. And, you know, I tell them all the time, like, I could easily plan this and do all this for you, or, other programs could come in and do this, but I'm not going to let them do that because it takes it away from being their youth council. So um, my job is just to kind of advise them and help them get to the next step. But I try my best to let them lead and plan and implement everything themselves. So we've got a lot of younger kids that are really excited. So I'm kind of excited for the younger kids to see what they do this summer. Um, we do have a lot of our college students coming back as well.
I think that's helpful too, and I love that you guys brought that up. Just like having that mentorship of like your older kids helping with the younger kids, and in one of our recent meetups, we had that as well, where like the seniors who were graduating, each of them paired up to like be a mentor or a buddy with a younger freshman in the youth
Yeah.
council. So I think that helps a lot. And you have a really good group. We know they come back from college to help as well. So
Yeah. Oh, and I also like, during the conference, I always kind of make it a point to make sure they're attending the workshops, and like some of them get discouraged, or they're like, well, everyone else is running the halls, or these people got to go here. And I kind of noticed that last summer where a lot of people were just, here and there, and they weren't really in the workshops. So um, I don't know, maybe just encouraging
yes. And
advisors to make sure their kids are going to workshops and participating in those things. Cause I mean, that's a lot of good information for them. So, and like a lot of our kids, they missed out on something and they all kind of got forced into one. And I believe it was like a LGBT one. And they learned a lot. They weren't expecting to, but they learned a lot. And it really opened their eyes.
I love that. And and in closing, like you brought up a good point too. Like a lot of people go through the workshops and they pre-pick which ones they want to go to, but if you're not there first, once they're full to capacity, they close the doors, right? So some youth
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, well, that's the one I wanted to go to." But you're right. Like there's plenty of other ones to attend too, so that helps a lot. So thank you
Yeah.
so
But we're
much,
really,
guys, for sharing. We're excited to have you.
thank you.
And yes, thank you so much, Brianna. This will be recorded for you guys to look back on and watch. I know, like Mary Kim said, we went over a lot of information and links, but this is on our Facebook Live and will be on our YouTube as a recording that you can go back over. So we really appreciate your time and your efforts, and we want to keep this short to just honor your time within the hour. But we're here for you, and just to know that there's a whole nation full of advisors just like yourself. And if you think of any questions,